tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back for another Power Book 2 Ghost. This is Season 3, Episode 3, Human Capital. Alright, this is your spoiler warning. I said I was going to get these reviews out. I do owe you Episode 2, but let's go ahead and get into this review. So the episode opens with all of the kids. We're catching up with them. We're seeing what they're doing. We see Braden and Tariq on Wall Street. We see Effie at the school making moves. We also see Kane and his father. One thing about them tables, baby, they turn. Okay, so then next thing you know, you see Kane getting out the car, telling his father he got off light with Zeke and Drew, and that's just the way it is. Then we see Kane go back to the penthouse, and we see Drew busting down another one. And Kane was so funny because he was like, oh my God, not another one. And then next thing you know, they all get a simultaneous tweet, or not tweet, text saying to meet them at the warehouse. The stakes, baby. We get to the warehouse and we have Noma's right hand man cracking jokes, doing the most, talking about some damn y'all supposed to be doing Mecca's job. Y'all not doing anything. Then next thing you know, he starts putting incentives on the table, and he's saying he put Diana's picture down. He puts Daddy Warbucks and his wife picture down. That's Braden's parents. Then he puts Grandma Ethel, whatever her name is, Grandma, and he was doing the most. He was just like, she dies, then Daddy Warbucks, and then because we respect our elders, we're gonna kill Granny last. And I ain't forget about you, Orphan Annie. If this doesn't go right, I'm just gonna kill all y'all. Okay?
Holla. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake fans gon' pile up.
So Tariq and Effie was walking around after the meeting with Obi, and they're basically, trying to figure out, like, this is wild. They can't believe they researched them. He was like, I can't believe he threatened my grandmother. Like, that's the only family I got other than you and B. And so he's making these pretty big declarations. I've noticed this throughout the whole episode. He's making these pretty big declarations, and he is saying these things. Then she asked him whether or not she can start moving some weight at Stansfield. He's hesitant. He said it's too hot. She said, I got it. I can do it. I can step on it. It won't cut into Noma's. I got a safety number. I'm out here by myself. I got to think about school, grad school. I don't have nobody taking care of me. I got to do this for myself. And they was cute. The whole little exchange was cute. But y'all, please don't let this Tariq fool you. This is not the Tariq you want to mess with, okay? I feel like we are going to have Tariq fully activated by the end of season 3. So just you stay tuned. What do you think? Was this a good idea or a bad idea?
I need peace to borrow. Get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all the
Okay, so we open up at the classroom. Everybody's there. Diana chimes in with her definition, and she brings up her family, saying that when she wasn't of use to her family, she was thrown away and discarded. The teacher was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Next thing you know, Tariq said something. Tariq said something about all work being contractual. Then he also said something about um, Brushandria getting the internship, and she had to set his ass straight. She said Tate said no, then he said yes. And the next thing you know, the teacher was like, hey, 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 I know it will get heated, but we will be respectful in here. So after class, Salim and Dirty Diana get together and they're talking, and he was like, I understand what you mean about your family. I Googled you. And she was like, what? You Googled me? He was like, I like you and I want to get to know you. But man, I saw about your father and the drugs and the manslaughter. And he's like looking and I mean, the way he was looking, it looked so suspect or whatever. And she was just like, you didn't have to Google me. You could have just asked me. I'm not my parents. I'm not my family. Yes, that is a situation, but that is not me. He notices somebody looking at her. And she was like, oh, that's my actual brother, Kane. So then Kane comes over. they try to introduce each other, but it's some playful banter between the brother and the sister. And he's pretty much like, yeah, Salim, brother Salim, who is Holy Hotep, and brother Salim. And he also said that name sound made the fuck up. Okay, so put a pin in that, y'all. Put a pin in that because that builds into my theory that another CI could be brother Salim. Okay, something is not right in the buttermilk with Salim, and I caught a couple of little clues that they kind of planted in this particular scene. And so, yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think Celine could be a CI? So they go over to the side, and Celine walks off. Kane is noticeably not liking him. Okay, now that could be because that's his little baby sister, and he don't like the niggas pushing up on her. But I think he is sensing something else. So anyway, he tries to give her a gun in the middle of the hallway in college. I'm like, what? And he just pretty much is trying to see whether or not if there's eyeballs on him, on her, what is happening, and get the surroundings because they are indeed watching her, take pictures of her, and all of this stuff. So he's just trying to look out for her or whatever. And he said, come on over to the condo. We're going to have dinner. All right. All right. Also, is here he finds out that she has a job and she's working at the school store or whatever, and he is her boss. And so he was like, oh no, I can't let you go out like that, and he hit break her off with some money. Okay, so I just wanted to add that as well.
Let's go bravo, smile so much to hide my sorrows. Faith is shaky in vibrato.
All right, so it looks like the feds are getting their office space together. They got their board. They getting to work, okay? They are watching. Now, Whitman and Sullivan, they keep going back and forth with each other. They are not on the same page. He's hell-bent behind Monet and Carrie, and they have a hair up their ass for Tariq St. Patrick. They butt heads a little bit. Then he moves on over to Monet's bar. Go to pay her a visit, of course, because that's where his head is. He's wanting Monet for Carrie. And he goes and she's like, the cop bar is up the street. He was like, no, I'm here. And he was like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. This doesn't even look like, a crime scene took place. I'll be sure to look up your contractor. I said, oh my God. So after the encounter with Whitman at the bar, she goes over to see Davis. And she was just like, what's up with you calling me and hanging up? I'm not feeling that or whatever. And he was like, I did not do that and whatever. So he shows her the phone with, of course, if somebody make a phone call, they can just delete the damn call log. But he shows her the phone, said, I didn't call you. The next thing you know, she's just like, well, he came by, gave me a card and said, all we have to do is talk and we can just put this behind us. He was like, no, that's not how this shit work. You got a mouth on you. We're not doing it. Period, point blank. And she was just like, I think we should. And he was just like, I'll think about it. But he's like, no.
I can't hold a frown too long.
They're at the penthouse having dinner without Monet. So it's all of them. And then Kane puts down on the table a picture of Dirty Diana. Drew says, how did Diana get into this? He was like, look, we all are pretty much innocent. Ma is the one who put the bullet in Mecca Dante head. Now they are on us for this product and this work or whatever. So then they're pretty much saying, but I got a plan to get us in the clear. And then he was like, but you have to do what I tell you and take what I tell you when I tell you. And Diane was like, who the fuck died and made you king? And then Cain looked over at the father and said, should I take this or do you want to handle it? And then so he was like, listen to your brother, Diana. And then they're looking around like looking crazy. And then next thing you know, Cain comes up with the bright idea of trying to move more product. They was talking about the Castillo boys. And then next thing you know, he was like, we should take all of the boys out and just take over their territory. And they was like, no, that is not a good idea. And then next thing you know, he was like, well, are you going to keep on bitching Drew, or do you have a solution? So then the solution that Drew came up with was, let's get the connect, and then they'll have no choice but to come to us. That's a good idea. Okay, because they didn't want to start a war, and then also too, Drew and whatever, they had like some kind of connection with their family, and so they thought that it would be in bad taste to take them all out.
I can't stay down too long. Look, run.
Introducing Mr. RSJ, one of the richest black men, not in the US, but in the world, okay? Tariq is taking a liking to him. He's like, okay. He's listening to what he's saying. He's understanding what's going on. Brayden is like, okay. Now, apparently, Kiki used to be the black face that was doing the things that needed to be done when you needed someone of color to do the things. So I think she was under the impression that she was going to meet this guy, but it looks like Lucas has pulled a fast one on her and sent her to a spa day, and on her way home, and she looks and sees Tariq and say, I guess one black face is as good as another. Noted. After Lucas dismisses Kiki, he goes over and he sits with Brayden and Tariq. He said that RSJ will come to him. Of course, posturing. RSJ does just that. He comes over. He tells Lucas he has 2 minutes. He introduces Brayden and Tariq, and he tells him, you know, by you turning down some of my friends, investor friends, to Western Holdings, that's a risky move, especially if you want me to become an investor. And Lucas was like, no risk, no reward. And so they're playing the game. And then next thing you know, he was like, let's meet formally a little later on and we'll talk. As RSJ was leaving, Tariq runs up to him and said, can I ask you a question? He was like, about your speech, about the economy of scale. Can you elaborate? And then he was just like, okay, what do you want to know? RSJ pretty much breaks down the whole thing about getting 1,000 small customers, then 100 high-end customers. And he said we're all ants on a hill, you know, undercut the prices, take over, and do it that way. So that got something to do with the drug game. Okay. So next thing you know, he is impressed. He's like, so what is your name, young man? He said, I'm Tariq St. Patrick. He was like, they are using you. Make sure you use them just as much as they use you. These folks right here that we see are just the heads of the cryptocurrency that they'll be using for their all cap no frap endeavor.
From pain, running from strain, running from things, running from skin.
So I am almost 100% positive against Davis's better judgment. He lets Monet sit down with Whitman, and Whitman starts to pull out all the stuff that he's been laying the facts out of what he's been. Oh, yeah. This person's been to your club, he never left. This person came to your club, he missing, disappeared. It's a correlation here. And Davis says, why? He said, isn't there something else that you could do with your police hours? Why did he say that? Because after he said that, Monet jumps up and she says, yeah, how about finding a guap that took out Zeke? And then Davis and everybody is just sitting up there with the face palm in the hand, looking like, you dumb. Like, what were you thinking?
Don't say that.
Whitman was like, looky here. He said, all my police work was telling me that it was a case of mistaken identity and that it was just mistaken identity. But you're saying that I didn't have any idea that the GTG had anything to do with what was going on with the murder of your son, your nephew? Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and just take that information down and let me do my police work. Oh my God. So then Davis is like, young, what is wrong with you? I thought we agreed that you wasn't going to say nothing. We ain't agree on shit. You said what you said, and I said what I said. And I just like, oh my God. She don't get it. She don't get it. Theory time. I don't know, but I think Davis might say There was a clip in the trailer that says she gotta go. Do you think the she that he's referring to is Monet, or do you think it's Noma? Let me know in the comments. He goes back to the office and finds out that Davis had put a harassment report about him into the precinct for Monet. She said he's suspended by the morning. Do you think he really cared? He don't give a, and he is back outside Monet's house. All right.
I can't hold a frown too long.
Back at the dorm, Dirty Diana comes in and she gets her first paycheck in the mail, and she is looking like, what the is this? She could not believe how it was like pennies on a dollar. Then next thing you know, Brayden's sister is like, come on, you got your first paycheck. It's something to celebrate. Let's go ahead and get it popping. She was like, no, this is nothing to be celebrating. But anyway, where'd you get it from? Because I heard everything was dried up around here. And she was like, yeah, it is.
I can't stay down too long.
Now, Brayden shows Tariq about a place that is kind of at the Weston's disposal. He put it under lease, so that's going to be their warehouse where they're going to be doing and packaging all of the materials. So that's that on that. They go on over and they talk to Drew and Kane and tell them their plan. Kane and Drew tell them their street plan. They go ahead and dap it up. They say, all right, bet. So then Kane wants Brayden to hang back. All right, so once Tariq leaves, Kane is like, yeah, we gotta take out the connect, and we need you to do that. He was like, man, why you keep wanting me to do it? This seems like high stakes. He was like, look, it has to be a white boy because it can't blow back on a Hispanic or a black boy. So he was like, all right, all you gotta do is get this dude. He's coming out of church, pop him there. He was like, dude, out of church? He was like, oh shit, I know I'm going to hell now. Kane was like, yeah, rest assured, your position is there, especially since you already killed your bestie's girlfriend. Tariq meets Davis and Monet, and they're talking about Whitman, Dante, and how everything is about to go to shit. They're trying to put the pieces together what he may know. He's like, steer clear of Monet, just chill out, you know what I'm saying? So he's giving him the heads up. Monet is talking about keep your head on a swivel, and I'm like, bitch, shut up. And then you see Saxe taking a picture of all three of them, implicating them in the Rico case some kind of way. Tariq meets back up with Effie and Braden is pretty much telling him that Kane asked him to kill the connect for the Castillo boys. He was like, why the fuck would he ask you to do something like that? He know y'all you ain't no killer. What's going on? Why wouldn't he just ask me to do it? Effie was like, Kane is right. It has to be done or whatever. He's gonna have to man up at some point. And he was like, all right, well, we're gonna be there to back you up 100%. And he gonna go get some guns, like he about to go get the food. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go get some guns, okay? And so yeah, that's what we about to do.
Running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running.
So Effie Stansfield plan is in full motion. She's getting it started, getting it popping. You know, she's a woman about her business. Next thing you know, we see Dirty Diana catching her red-handed in the stairwell, talking about what you doing. She was like, I know you're not doing that because it's too hot up here. Then also too, she's saying that, it's real messed up how you did me, how you tried to curve me with Reek, only for you to get him. And she was like, I was just looking out for you, Di. She was like, for real, you don't need to be fucking around with Tariq. Tariq is on a different level. You don't need to have nothing to do with that. She was like, me and Tariq, we're different, you know? And she was like, well, listen, I ain't about to be fighting over no nigga. She was like, come on, you can join us. We can use you. And Dirty Diana was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not even into my family's business. You can have that shit. Good night.
Couple things I know, couple things.
Hey, Red Man has been recast, y'all. So there's no more Red Man. This man right here is the new Theo Rollins, this is Davis's brother. Okay, but he held it down strong. He pretty much was talking to Saxe like, "What's going on? What do you want?" Saxe is asking a couple of questions about the height and why would you take time for something you didn't do. There was a discrepancy, yada yada yada. He puts two and two together and figures out that there is some type of discrepancy, and Davis may have been the person who have done it.
Things I show, couple things I don't.
So Tate is over here trying to put the moves on Harper. Harper's falling for it, seemingly hook, line, and sinker. Next thing you know, she's grabbing his face, kissing him up, and Blanca is looking like, what the hell is going on? He tells Harper to go ahead. He needs to talk to them. And then his messy ass begins to talk about Tariq. Drops the dime on him not working for him and his internship, but he is now working at Weston's and Holden's, where the actual confessed drug dealer works. So yeah, I was like, oh, you being messy, Tate. I was disappointed in him.
I can tell you my problems. I can tell you my sins.
So we get a little shot of the Russian Connect. He's at the church. He comes out. Braden goes up to him, starts talking. I'm like, Braden, what the fuck? I'm just like, what is going on? So then he can't do it. Tariq is panicking. He ends up running over, shooting the Connect, once in the head, again in the chest to finish him off. Leaves out, takes Braden, runs into an Italian restaurant, starts speaking Italian, talking about we're big tippers, we need a table. He goes in there, starts talking to Effie. Braden goes out, he's about to shit a brick, pissing his pants because he couldn't do it. He texts Kane, says it's done. And all the while,
and now that I don't gotta pay for Davis or cop my mom any little petty favors. Look, with all this money coming in, we're gonna hit your number faster than you think.
Maybe. I don't like to count on shit.
I feel you. I mean, but when you do hit your number, what you think? You out of this or what?
Tariq, you just killed a man. Do you really want to be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life?
But what if we don't gotta look over our shoulders, Effie? We could watch each other's back. Just like my mom and my dad. But smarter.
Tariq,
Listen. If you met my mom, which you will, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, you'll see that she was the fucking mastermind behind all of this shit.
Who said that? Who said that?
She had everything figured out. It was my dad that fucked everything up. Right, but I'm not like my dad. I'm smarter than him. I'm better than him, Effie.
So what? We're gonna be like the Stansfield Bonnie and Clyde?
Fuck no. You're gonna be like Thomasine and Bushra.
The fuck are they?
It's an old-ass classic and it's fire. It was actually my mom's favorite.
You're crazy. You know that, right?
A little bit.
Now Tariq. Come on. That entire monologue was so one-sided. It was only from your perspective. And it was, I'm not going to say wholly wrong, but definitely it was half wrong. And, Tariq, keep on living.
I can tell you my problems. I'm uncomfortable in my skin. I'm uncomfortable with my end.
Now, baby, the Tejadas is meeting up with the Castillo boys. The one in the front is going to be a problem. I repeat, the one in the front with the gold chain and the tattoo, put a pin in it, is going to be a problem. Now, they already come in. Now, I'm sure that Evelyn has had a talk with her boys. They know something is up with the Tejadas. That relationship is very, 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 very rocky. The relationship between Frank and Lorenzo and Monet is very, very, very delicate and shaky. And so he's coming in like, Kane, yeah, now all of a sudden we're in a predicament and look who's here at the rescue. And then he's looking at him and he's like, I don't understand how all of a sudden the opportunity presents itself just as something happens. And then Kane puts his foot in the mouth and say that he heard that the shooter was white. He was like, how did you know it was white? He was like, something is not right. Something is fishy. Then Lorenzo busts in and says that he heard it. Some stupid kid. And he said it would be better for our families. Don't you think your father would want us working together? And they said, let's go ahead and do a vote. All right, majority rules. We're doing business. Lorenzo said, we're doing business with my son now. He said, fuck this. And all the while, it's very, very shaky and very rocky. He gives a handshake to Kane. And then also, too, Kane's like, well, if the majority rules, who wasn't in it? They was like, it doesn't matter. It was a group decision. Majority rules. Everybody stands behind it. I tell you, Gordo is going to be a problem. Also, at the end of the conversation, Kane was like, how do y'all want to celebrate our families making money together? He was like, nah, some other time. I'll hit you up. And then they leave. And Drew's like, so now all of a sudden, Kane's in charge of the family now? And he's like, something crazy is going on between the two of you. And like I said, they are hot as hell. Like, they are going to get themselves found out. They are hot. Hot, hot, hot. Everybody's on their trail.
Beautifully done, Pops. Hey, you a damn good actor, man.
I'm going home, Kane.
Hold up. You really held it down back there. But that, stupid kid and family first shit with Drew felt extra. So, I'm gonna need you to move extra weight. Give Mom a hug for me.
I'm uncomfortable with my friends. I'm uncomfortable with my drinking. I'm uncomfortable with my thinking.
I'm going to go ahead and keep this short and sweet, but Davis is slipping. He is slipping. He is under pressure. His brother is fading away, and he doesn't want him to die in jail, especially for something that he didn't commit. And so he has gone on and given Saxe a full confession on what happened. But you know, Saxe, he's about justice, and he says that he agrees to help him, but he's definitely going to have Davis in his back pocket with that. So I don't think that was the right play for Davis. But we'll see. What do you think in the comments?
I'm uncomfortable with my waist. I'm uncomfortable in this space. I'm uncomfortable on good.
Before New Cream be on the rise, major unethical practices is going on here with the kissing and getting involved with your boss / TA, Miss Dirty Diana. Okay, so Poppy knocks on the door. He takes the weight that Kane gives him and asks Mamita Dirty Diana to move the weight at Stansfield. She looks surprised. She's taken aback, but of course she'll do anything for her Poppy. Poppy, he seemed to be kind of like, whatever about Holy Hotep. He just let him go on about his business. He didn't even question him about it. He was just at the business at hand. So, I don't know. I think this was a bad move on Poppy, on Lorenzo's look. I mean, he's just got a bad look ever since episode 2. No, ever since the season finale of season 2, ever since that fatal mistake that he made with Zeke and Mecca, that mix up, it's been all downhill from there. He is not looking good at all, y'all.
I'm uncomfortable with my thoughts. I'm uncomfortable with my feelings.
I ain't even gonna hold you long for this. This is Braden coming up with a new app for No Cap All Frap. Effie was impressed, but then he fucked around and said something stupid, and she was like, "Just oh well."
And sadly, I'm uncomfortable with healing.
Kane wants to meet back up with Braden. He gets him, pulls him to the side, trying to figure out who the fuck shot the connect, because it wasn't your white ass. They're saying that it was a black person who pulled the trigger, and he's trying to figure out. First, he says Tariq, which is, you should always go with your gut, which is the correct answer. But Brayden said, no, you shouldn't even know, because it'll give you plausible deniability. He was like, it doesn't matter, he's dead, right? And he was like, no, it had to be a certain way. So anyway, he knows that something is up, and he feels like if he didn't do this one, he probably didn't do the other one. He said, so you owe me 2 bodies. He said, what's going on with Lauren? Is she dead or what? Is she gone or what? He was like, yeah, she's taken care of. She was you saw it on the news. He was just like, you owe me a body, and I intend to collect. And so he lets him go and tells him he's feeling generous and he better get the hell up out of there. After Brayden leaves, he called Effie and said, holler at me. Because I know he knows that Effie knows something. Even though she's loyal and she probably wouldn't say nothing, but he want to work her and see what she knows. And that is where the episode ends. Whew, y'all, we made it. This was a fire episode of Power Book 2 Ghost. You leave me all of your death predictions, your theories, your comments. You let me know who was your MVP. How did you feel about Tariq's statement saying that his mom was the mastermind of the operation, that he is smarter and he is better than his father? Let me know all of that stuff down below. Do you think Salim is a CI? Do you think it was a bad move for Monet to actually give up GTG being the guap who did something to Zeke? What about Davis's decision to confess to Saxe? Let me know all in the comments down below. As always, I'm Nita, your favorite diva. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my social media and share the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.